Okay. I'm ready when you are. This is a terrible idea.
Tidepool Orchestra, Care Bear versus Spooky Bear.
Hey guys, who would win in a fight between the characters of everyone's favorite game, Five Nights at Frederick's, and the characters from everyone's favorite cartoon, the Caring Bears? They both have bears in them, so it seems like a fair fight. Let's go into more details and see if there are any ground rules we would need to establish before we begin.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a video game series about the wacky misadventures one might have while being the night watchman at a Freddy Fazbear Pizza. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria is sort of an amalgamation of those old pizza chains from the 80s and 90s that had animatronic mascots and that would sing and dance during children's birthday parties. But due to those restaurants being primarily staffed by teenagers or alcoholics and overrun with children who like to get their grubby pizza grease stained hands all over everything, the animatronics would often go into a terrible state of disrepair and suffering. They would be left up though with patchy fur hanging loosely off their frames, showing their uncanny innards for the world to see.
See, the thing we're going to have to talk about for a second here is the Uncanny Valley, a concept penned by Masahiro Mori back in 1970 while working on his own robot. The basic idea of the Uncanny Valley is that there's a certain area between realistic and stylized that makes your brain scream and you want to commit dig hole lay-in when you see it. This video will have spoilers to the Five Nights at Frederick's games, so if you don't want to be spoiled, stay out of the restaurant.
So the story starts during the missing children incident, which was when 5 children went, missing from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Now, no one knew it at the time, but this was the fault of one William Afton, and we did a whole video on him. So go check out if you want. It only has like 2.7k views right now, and I would like that number to go up. So anyway, 5 children went missing, but soon after that happened, we hear about these complaints that 4 of the animatronics in the pizza shop have like blood and gunk around their eyes, right? So like obviously that's where the 4 kids went. They got murdered and their souls are all up inside them robots. And it's because of William Afton. Wait, Brian, weren't there 5 kids?
You know, that's what I said too. I'm like, hey Ganon, I know that you just told me that there were 5 kids and 4 of them went missing and became these robots, but what about 5th kid? And he's like, don't worry about that. And so I didn't.
Okay, so we have a basic idea of what the animatronics are. These creepy little robots powered by the heart and soul of murdered children. But we have to go a little deeper if we want to see exactly how much of a threat they are. Minor digression, or have you ever thought about apples? Apples are synonymous with human culture and religion in such strange, intricate ways, going back to almost every mythos. The forbidden fruit back with Adam and Eve was thought to be an apple, and it's almost linguistically tied with the root of the word. Consider that the French word for apple, pomme, had its roots, if you pardon the pun, in the Latin word pomum, which is literally the word for fruit. From there, every other fruit is spun off from apples. One could say pomum insuasum, meaning orange fruit, if they want to talk about oranges, but overall they're just changing the definition of the word for apple until it reflects what they want it to mean.
I'm gonna say something improvised, Brian. But fun fact, in Romanian, palm means tree.
In much the same way, we look at Freddy Fazbear, the mascot for the series, because every other animatronic would just be in some way a different version of it.
Foxy, for example, would be described as Freddy Fazbear, but he's a fox and a pirate. Bonnie is Freddy Fazbear, but is a purple rabbit. Or even Golden Freddy is Freddy Fazbear, but is gold. Okay, Brian, when you say Bonnie is Freddy Fazbear, but is a purple rabbit, I'm pretty sure like there's like a big difference there.
Golden Freddy is just a different version of Freddy. They're not even close to the same thing at the same time though. Golden Freddy is just a golden version of the same suit of Freddy without an exoskeleton, and they are not the same suit otherwise though. Scott Cawthon said himself that they are not the same character and they are different characters, but Golden Freddy is just a similar model with a different shade or a different like color without an exoskeleton.
I know it's a mixed metaphor, but basically, Freddy is to his game how Mario is to Mario Kart. All of his stats are pretty much balanced, making him the perfect starting point. Are you ready for Freddy? God, Brian, this is so bad.
So Freddy Fazbear, probably possessed by the ghost of the child Gabriel, thinks that the Night Watchman is his killer, so he attacks on sight to try to get revenge. If he catches the Night Watchman, he will place them inside of another Freddy Fazbear suit, killing them instantly. One has to wonder though, if the soul of Gabriel is still inside the animatronic suit, how much of his actions are due to his animatronic, and how much comes from the lost child's soul? Truly it is reflective of human nature in and of itself, to wonder from whence free will is sought.
Are any of us truly in control of our actions? Or are we not all but puppets being controlled by our dead inner child? Anyway, Freddy has enhanced speed and strength, and he is known for how stealthy he is, and basically all three of these are the perfect recipe for jump scares. Freddy is known to kill anyone who gets in his way, mutilating the bodies in horrible ways, and using the remains of his victims to psychologically torture everyone else. So naturally, I want him to fight the Care Bears.
For that part of the video, I like to bring in a local Care Bear expert, crazy person, and bear himself, Brian.
Hi, Brian here. I'm gonna real quick go over a base for Care Bears. Gonna go with, say, Tender Heart Bear for an example. Your average Care Bear is about 3 feet tall and weighs 25 pounds. They can lift about 500 pounds, and they can fly on their own abilities as well as summoning cloud cars. They fight using bladed weaponry and have special training in driving motorcycles. Typically they are known for the Care Bear stare, but there's some quick caveats to that. Number 1, a Care Bear stare can only be done by 3 or more Care Bears grouped together activating their powers in unison. Alone they can only activate their own unique belly badge abilities. With Tender Heart Bear, for example, his powers are heart-based, including pulling out magical spiked hearts from his belly that can be easily hammered into solid stone to create climbing steps. Number 2, a Care Bear stare can only be used against an enemy that has a heart. If you look at the main villains of Care Bears, you see a theme with characters such as No Heart, Cold Heart, Dark Heart, etc. that all either have removed their own heart or froze it over or corrupted it in such a way that the bears cannot reach it. A side note about this is that it's in Care Bears canon that the bears can never defeat Regina Mills from Once Upon a Time. They would have a difficult time going against Bryce Tank Thrust from the Brandon Rogers universe, who can easily replace her hearts if they get affected. So basically any of the FNAF characters, that's Five Nights at Freddy's for all of you true fans out there, any of them that have a heart can be defeated by a group of 3 or more Care Bears using minimal effort just with the Care Bear stare, but characters who don't have hearts would be a bigger threat. In addition, if it's a one-on-one fight, the Care Bears may be at a disadvantage.
Thanks, Brian. That was very informative. Kind of.
Now, the hearts inside of the animatronics are rotting away, so I don't think they can be affected by the Care Bear stare or whatever, but I guess if they're still pumping blood, it could be possible. Now here's the catch though, remember that thing I mentioned about Freddy Fazbear wanting to put the Night Watchman in a Freddy Fazbear suit? That does seem to be the main modus operandi for this electronic person. But hold up. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, you can sneak past the animatronics by wearing a bear mask. Know what looks like a bear mask? Bears. So now we're at the strangest impasse.
Either the animatronics are so animalistic and simple-minded that they see Care Bears as fellow bear animatronics and therefore ignore them, or they still have enough of their humanity left that they recognize the Care Bears, but are therefore susceptible to the Care Bears' caring powers.
So real quick, I did end up finding out after writing the script that in the Care Bears movie from 1985, at about an hour and 5 minutes in, Tenderheart Bear uses his belly badge to grant belly badges to the Care Bear cousins who up until this point in the movie are shown with blank bellies. This implies that Tenderheart can induct new members of the Care Bear family, and this principle could be applied to the Freddy Fazbear animatronics if they are considered alive, and they would just then become part of the greater Care Bear family. Okay, so this is my question to you, Crack Toon, right? Here's my question. Who do you think would win?
Me? Well, the mascots in Frederick Fazbear are robots, and I think robots are cool, so
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think Tenderheart would win because of the abilities that Tenderheart has. Like, you can make really sharp hearts that you can use like in shuriken style that are sharp enough to penetrate through the rock.
So, in my opinion, I think the Care Bears should probably win, given the fact that the animatronics don't really have enough strength. I mean, they have a lot of strength to beat a human, but we know that Care Bears are way stronger than humans. And I don't think they've shown anything to be able to like beat Care Bears. And as well as the fact that they are bears, so the animatronics might recognize them as fellow. And if they are human enough, they might even have like souls or hearts or whatever, or at least something similar that the Care Bears might actually influence, making them friends or whatever, or I don't know, just not attack at least. I want to say that Brian is my son, and he is like a father to me.
Okay, so you can go find Crack Toon at his YouTube channel, Crack Toon Network, and don't forget that me and him also have a shared YouTube channel called Ghost Tornado. I'll put links to both of those to the descriptions and also at the end of this video, which is right now.